Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Simple Health, which makes birth control accessible, affordable, and convenient. The way Simple Health works is very simple. You fill out an online profile, which is then reviewed by a physician to see if you're a good fit for birth control. Recommendations will be made, a prescription will be written, and if you have health insurance, it should be covered. If not, prescriptions start at $15 a month and they will arrive with free shipping right to your doorstep. So there's no need to wait in line at the pharmacy or at your doctor's office. The prescription will arrive right to your doorstep and there's no worries about any lapses in your prescription. So after I graduated college, this was a big concern for me. I was concerned that there would be a lapse in my prescription because I no longer had access to my college clinic. So something like Simple Health would have been such a great tool for me to make sure that I wouldn't have any lapses and that it would come to wherever I ended up moving to. And it should be noted that Simple Health is not a replacement for routine checkups with your doctor. If you'd like to try Simple Health out for free, click the link down below or head over to simplehealth.com/Emmy or use the code Emmy at checkout. So follow Simple Health on Instagram to receive all the latest news on women's reproductive health. Big thanks to Simple Health for their continued support and for sponsoring this video. Now today I'm going to be making a cheesecake, but not any ordinary cheesecake. Today I'm going to be making a VELVEETA cheesecake. What? If you're not familiar with VELVEETA, this is VELVEETA. This is a 2-pound block of VELVEETA. It calls itself liquid gold. This is the original. So VELVEETA has the honor of being much beloved and also much maligned. It is a processed cheese product. Does it call itself processed cheese food? It calls itself a pasteurized recipe cheese product. What I found interesting is VELVEETA is actually a much older product than I expected. It was invented in the 1930s as a healthful cheese, and in the 1950s it was reformulated and then branded as a spread. So I think the most popular use for VELVEETA is to make mac and cheese or macaroni and cheese. But today I'm going to be using this cheese spread product to make a cheese cake. It's cheese, right? Let's make a cheesecake. I'm using a recipe from cook.com. I will put the link down below. I have made other things with VELVEETA cheese, including VELVEETA cheese fudge, and I will put that link down below. So if you've ever had cheesecake or made a cheesecake, you know it's best served chilled. So let me walk you through the steps of what I did to create the VELVEETA cheesecake. So let me get the recipe out. I write all of my recipes down in this notebook, and then I have them in a special place, all in one place, you know. So we're gonna make the crust first, and it says you need 1 cup of chocolate wafer cookies. Chocolate wafer cookies. To me, that means Oreos. So I took about 12 Oreos and ground them up in my food processor. You can also put them in a plastic bag and crush them with a rolling pin. You want to get nice, fine crumbs. And then add a 1/2 cup of finely chopped nuts. And here I am using walnuts. 3 tablespoons of sugar. So since the recipe didn't specify the temperature of the butter, in my past experiences making crumb crust for cheesecakes, I've always done melted butter. So I went ahead and melted the 4 tablespoons of butter and added that to the cookies and the nuts. Now you're gonna mix this all together, and then you're gonna press this into the bottom of a 9-inch spring form pan. So I think I learned this technique way back in the day from Martha, meaning Martha Stewart. To get a nice even crust, you can use something like a glass. In this case, I'm using the bottom of my measuring cup to press and evenly distribute all the crumbs and then pack it down so you have a nice even layer. So now we can work on the filling. We're gonna take 1 pound of VELVEETA cheese, and the recipe doesn't say to do this, but I went ahead and cut it up into smaller pieces to make it easier to combine. Then you're gonna need 2 packages of cream cheese. So I went ahead and let my cream cheese sit out for a little while so it would warm up and be easier to combine. Then we're adding 1.5 cups of sugar and 3 tablespoons of flour. Now using a hand mixer, we're gonna mix this on medium speed until all the cheese and everything is well incorporated. Now we're gonna add 4 eggs, and we're gonna do this 1 at a time. So at this point, you should have a fluffy, luscious kind of cream filling. Next, we're gonna add 1 cup of sour cream and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Beat that all in really well, and then pour this into your cooled crust. Place this in a very hot 450-degree oven and bake this for 10 minutes. and then reduce the temperature down to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 1 hour. So almost immediately after I placed my cheesecake in the oven, I smelled a terrible, acrid, burning smell. Like, what is that? And I noticed that the butter from the crust was oozing and dripping out from the springform pan onto the bottom of my oven and burning and just making a terrible smell. So what I did was I placed a little bit of aluminum foil on the shelf below it to catch the butter drips so they wouldn't end up on the hot surface of the bottom of my oven, and that prevented a lot of the kind of smoking that was happening. So if that happens to you, that's what I recommend. Also, when I reduced the temperature down to 250 degrees, I swapped out the foil and put a new piece of foil, and it continued to like bleed butter. So I don't know if that will happen to you, but if it does, that's what I did. So after an hour, I pulled my cheesecake out and it looked very wobbly in the center. So I gave it another 5 minutes and then another 5 minutes for a total of about 15 extra minutes. So the recipe didn't give any specifics on how to tell if the cheesecake was done or not. So I allowed it to cool to room temperature and then I placed it in the refrigerator. And now my cheesecake is ready to taste. Ooh, Velveeta cheesecake. So let me go grab it. It's so funny. So let me take this off. So here is the cheesecake. It's actually much oranger than it looked last night, and I can't wait to tuck into this. Now that it's cool, it looks like it's completely solidified, so I hope it is. I'm gonna use a thin knife and just gently go around the perimeter of the cake. Okay. The Velveeta cheesecake. Wow. I'm gonna gently kind of neaten up the edges a bit. Alrighty, my lovelies, it is time to cut into the beautiful Velveeta cheesecake. I'm so pleased so far how it's turned out. Alrighty, here we go. Do, 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 do. Okay. I have a feeling that my cheesecake might be soft in the middle. Let's see. Ooh. Oh. It looks like macaroni and cheese inside there. That's kind of amazing. Look. Oh man. That's disappointing. It's a little bit oozy in the middle. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. Hey. This is surprisingly good. The first thing I notice is the salt. There's a good amount of salt in here, which of course must come from the Velveeta cheese, which is a nice kind of counterpoint to the sugar that's in there, the sugar that's in the crust, the sugar that we actually put in the cream portion of the cake. And I think the sour cream was a really smart addition in there as well. It adds some complexity, cuts down on the richness, although it contains cream in itself. The sourness plays with the sugar, so the sugar doesn't seem as sweet. It has a really nice kind of butterscotchiness to it. The chocolate crust definitely plays second fiddle. It's not a distraction at all. And the nuts I think are really smart. Adds a little bit of crunch in there. So the outside of my cheesecake is fully cooked and it has more of the texture of a traditional cheesecake. It's not dense though. It's kind of fluffy and light and whipped and airy, but I have to say I like the oozy kind of middle in there. So there you have it, the undercooked Velveeta cheesecake. Surprisingly delicious. Thanks so much for joining me, and big thanks again to Simple Health for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try Simple Health out for free, click the link down below or head over to simplehealth.com/Emmy or use the code Emmy at checkout. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care. Bye.